Hello, one and all, and welcome back, of course, to LCR Season 5. We are here for part 14 of this gripping and thrilling 16-part saga. We are here at the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi for this beautiful 3.6 3-mile circuit, which has 18 turns ahead of the guys. 6 are to the left and 12 are to the right, with 2 individual DRS detection zones with 2 activation zones available to them. 27 laps ahead of the guys. The Hypersoft, Ultrasoft and Soft tyres being available. Don't know if need intermediates and wets. You never quite know what to expect in Formula 1. Let's have a look at just around about 10 minutes ago. We had a simply gripping qualifying, and here is the order of the grids. One pole position is the man sitting third place in the championship. It is VSR Dralex. Alongside him, the one lap wonder that is the Dutchman of TOR Verstappen. Row 2 in the end is the Brit of LCR Hayden. Alongside him, LCR's resident Flying Finn. P5 is the second Sauber, which means they're 2 and 5. And surprise, surprise, the second place man in the championship starts from P6. And then on row 4, exactly behind him, first, the Belgium and LCR visualisers. Alongside him, the German, way down the field in P8, got a lot of work to do. And then finally on row 5, round at the top 10, is the other Force India Brad, and finally AOR Charlie in P10. And then row 6, outside the top 10, is the reserve of LCR Apex, and also the reserve of the Fens. They're in the Williams and Red Bull today. And finally, the 13th man on the grid, round at the field, is the Brit of Boris Letterbox. The guys went their way thick and fast around on the formation lap. The miners LCR now head alongside me, TOR Smith. And Smith, what a qualifying session we just witnessed.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Dralex put himself fully in the box seat with an absolutely wonderful lap with a 29.5, and he is well ahead of his title contenders here, with Liam down in 6th and Leopard all the way down in 8th. Obviously Leopard would have been in and around the top 2 because he did have a couple of invalidated laps, but like we say, Dralex, brilliant lap for me. Just a little shout out to LCR Hayden as well, brilliant from him to get into P3. Probably, I think, I don't know for sure, but one of his best qualities of the year, so well done to him. And obviously Pro Champ Waystel doing it for the Pro boys in P5 again, brilliant from him.
Indeed it was. Of course, 25 points separate the top 3 heading towards this round, with Leopard ahead of Kinnan 25 by 20 points, and 5 points behind him is VSR Dralex. So Dralex is in a very much a prime seat today, but don't discount the likes of Verstappen, Hayden, Gianni, Waystel to really give the fight early on. They're just much in a championship fight as much as these guys are. They've got to all focus on what they're doing. They can't be constantly thinking about, oh, I've got a championship leader behind me, I might as well lane through. It's going to be difficult for the likes of Leopard and Liam, and it's really going to prove, have they got the champions mentality? Well, Leopard's a 2-time champion. Liam is an unknown rookie in this league, so we have no idea what's going to happen. One thing for certain, it's been a brilliant qualifying session for VSR Dralex.
Oh, absolutely. We're in for a sterling race here. One just thing to note that I don't think we've mentioned is it's quite a long run to turn 1 here, and there could be a bit of slipstream, so Dralex will have to get a brilliant start, but watch out for Leopard and Liam. They could make up multiple positions here into turn 1 if they get a brilliant start.
Indeed, Boris will be the final man as LCR get ready to create their legacy in Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix. 3 rounds to go, including this one. We're about to find out as the 5 red lights are on, and LCR Season 5 is off. In Russia, it's a failing start for VSR Dralex. Verstappen got an okay start. Gianni also getting a good start in the second row, potentially alongside LCR Hayden. But Hayden's still on the offensive against the Verstappen down to another one. B-Mod just follows, getting 21 ring off Waystel, went down towards turn number 2. They come. Gianni on the inside line against Hayden. He's now going to try and surely get past Verstappen as well. As you can see, Leopard trying to get past both. I believe that was just Avenger in the background. He has just about managed to get the man that was on in front of him. Meanwhile, as they come round towards turn 3, it's still Dralex on the Verstappen on the inside line against him. Now going to be the outside, of course, for turn 4. Gianni on the defensive against Waystel as Liam still tries to get past. Then Gianni tries to take both of them, and there's been a contact, and that's not good news as Gianni gets past. Apex off in the back. It's a huge crash of AOR Charlie just revenge. But meanwhile, it's 4 wide in towards turn number 5 as Liam's trying to get through to P3. But somebody else, Waystel runs wide there down to P7. But it's still Dralex who leads Verstappen second. That stays the same. But Liam has just the start he needed into P3, with Hayden dropping the position down to P4, Smith.
Oh wow, breathless start there. Absolutely. Sorry, I was just enjoying that commentary from you there, Nuthead. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, they were going, there was like 3 or 4 wide at some point going through turn 4 and 5 there. Absolutely brilliant. Obviously Liam, massive winner from that. He's managed to pull away from the guys and he's up into P3, but obviously Dralex, man, got a reasonably good start. kept it clean, and obviously he had Verstappen fighting in for a little bit, but he's managed to keep the lead. But obviously Liam was the big winner there, up 3 positions on lap 1.
Indeed, Leopard also up 2 as well off the line. It's just what both the 2 champ contenders needed, but Dralex still leads. He managed to hold it because of the slipstream fest, but we now come towards lap number 1, and as you can see, it's still the same one. I mean, Yellow went set the fringe. AWR Charlie's had another moment. He is off. Fens was also involved in that collision. We didn't quite get to see what happened because, of course, we had that unbelievable cagey fight going on for the midfield, but now Fens in, Charlie in, as he gets a 5-6 stop go for speed in the pit lane as well. Meanwhile, heading down towards turn number 2 as Charlie retires. Boris potentially trying to go past Wastel, couldn't quite, but then also visualised just behind him. This is a scrap for P7 and not been an ideal start at all for the Pro Champs, who drops from P5, but still is holding down P7 with the likes of Boris and Wastel. And to be fair, Boris has had an equally good start. He is up, do not forget, from P13, last on the grid, and is into P8, just the start that Renault ordered.
Oh yeah, definitely, that was a brilliant start from Boris, up 5 positions to P8, puts himself well and truly in the mix here. But obviously, you're going to have to keep an eye on, they've already pulled a massive gap. The top 3 are already starting to pull away here, which can only be good for, obviously, Liam and Dralex. Means Leopard's got it all to do down in P6. He has moved up, like we say, but he's got a lot of work to do, and I don't think Hayden's going to do him any favours in front. They're going to be battling, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes down as the race goes on.
Indeed, Hayden also closing up towards Gianni, who's starting to look as if maybe he's going to struggle, especially with the DRS now coming into play. Of course, it basically turns into a difficult thing to shake once you're inside that second. It's very difficult to shake someone back out of it, as Verstappen will probably find as we get on towards lap number 3, and DRS has now become enabled as Verstappen, in fact, goes faster than 34.1. So good sign there for the Dutchman so far that his one-lap wonder has come on lap number 2. Let's see if it continues throughout the remaining 24 laps of this Grand Prix. That probably feels like a mountain for him to climb, as we've seen numerous times. But Verstappen still, he's starting to come good. You know, he's fair play to him. He's now starting to really get into his groove, but so far he still sits P2 and really couldn't take advantage of that, had to defend. Meanwhile, behind, Gianni is now on the defensive against LCR Hayden, down towards turn 4. Long way around for Hayden. Break and late from Gianni. 3-6 only comes in for Hayden, but that's really to spring himself down towards turn 5. He goes to the inside line against KLC Gianni. The flying fin against the Brit and the Pink Panther, and he couldn't quite do it. It's the Pink Brit who is hung out to dry just about, but Leopard is now right on the back of this battle. But now he's going down the inside again at turn 7 as Liam comes in with a penalty. That's early news for the man in P3, but now out of nowhere, Gianni has dropped the position down to P5, Hayden up to P4, and well, Leopard is now right on the back of him.
Yeah, brilliant move from Hayden there. Obviously, he got himself a penalty, but he's made the move. Obviously, it looks like Gianni is holding people up here, as Hayden's already started to pull away from him. Looks like Leopard's going to get the move done as well here. Let's stay on board. Yep, as Leopard goes down the inside there, squeezes Gianni a little bit, but Gianni still manages to hold the position, it looks like.
Oh, contact!
Oh my god,
Wastel gets involved!
Oh wow,
Has
Wastel
done it?
opportunistic at its best from the Pro Champ, 2-time Pro Champ there. As well, it looks like, sorry, Leopard, I thought Leopard was going to make a move then. As Gianni's gone off wide again.
As meanwhile, there's a bit of a sort of grudge match going on between Leopard and Gianni. Bit of sort of pushing out wide, but now as they head down towards turn 2, is Gianni getting an opportunity to come back at Leopard now and try and get him back fast, because they both have DRS, but Gianni's closing thanks to slipstream. Leopard goes defensive from the inside line, Gianni going to the outside. These two, of course, have seen their fair share of contact. Of course, Dralex and Gianni unbelievably coming together. Now, oh my goodness, what's been a decent instant there, where Gianni snuck right behind Leopard, but again, couldn't quite get the move. Oh, it's been a contact, he's kissed the wall there on the inside line, and now he's round. He avoids Boris just about. All the cars coming through, probably just coming blind. But Gianni is now off, and that is not at all. It wasn't an ideal start anyways. He started to drop position, but that has just made it even worse. Indeed, of course, Lone Red Bull is, of course, the reserve of V-Fens, takes up the other seat. Meanwhile, of course, we've got Wastel and Leopard right with each other. Of course, just last lap, we saw a opportunistic, overtake coming in from Wastel, and he took P5 off both Gianni and Leopard as they were busy fighting. But Wastel has turned his car into a drift car. It's not quite having a good day. Now goes to the outside line, does Leopard, and that's an easy move there as the Pro Champion gets past the world. But meanwhile, Kingdom 25 is in, and he gets a 5-second stop go for speed in the pit lane.
Interesting.
Not really early.
That is really, I don't think he's had any contact. No, it doesn't look like he's not having a change of wing there either. That's an interesting move. Maybe he's going for the undercut, possibly. but he's going to be 22 laps on these soft tyres. Obviously, it's doable, but he's going to struggle now with that 5-second stop go as well. So not very good, not great for Liam now, obviously, and obviously he's going to have to be hanging on later.
A massive crash.
Oh,
Then he's hit Visualize. Oh, because he didn't ghost. That's such a shame as he gets a 5-second stop go for severe collision with LCR Visualize. But that was a humongous sort of drop. He just had a tank slap around at turn 3, similar to what we saw Gianni do. Except this time he corrected it, then re-uncorrected it, and then he turned it towards turn 4, ended up basically overturning and just went massively into the wall on the right-hand side, and had a humongous crash that just sees him get away with some barely sparse front wing damage. But, well, people are just proving that these hypers are wearing unbelievably quick. Ooh, there's been a crash there at the exit of turn number 16. Fences at a moment. Dralex is now 4.3 seconds clear of Verstappen. Do not forget those two were separated by 7 tenths at one point, so Verstappen is really struggling.
Oh yeah, his tyres must be near enough dead. As just a little sign out, I'm on board with Brad, Drizit's Revenge, who's coming up to Verstappen here. See if he can get probably the only real battle on track. Obviously Leopard is starting to catch Hayden now for P3, but
Verstappen's in.
There you go, that's the first one. He's made the first move, Verstappen's in.
Now it'll be interesting to see what about the undercut with Liam. That's going to be interesting because, of course, those two were 2nd and 3rd respectively. Of course, Liam came in about lap 6, lap 5 for a set of soft compound tyres. Of course, Verstappen now goes into a set of ultras. Visualize comes in, so that ruins the chance of a battle with Brad. But now what about Liam? It's a question.
Here he is, he's just crossing the line now. Yeah, he's just crossing the line now. He's going to come out behind Verstappen, but he's a lot closer. Look how close he is now.
Hayden into the pits, which now promotes Leopard and Boris up to 2nd and 3rd respectively. Also going to promote LCR Apex up into P4. What a race for the lad. The reserve, of course, the owner of the league. He's having a fairly good day out there. Brad now gets up to P5. Of course, over to his teammate. He is still yet to pit. We'll get the stop screen up front. As you can see, top 6 down have all made their stops. And, well, look at the gap. Look, Liam, of course, comes out ahead of Hayden rather comfortably. But now on the ultras, it's going to be difficult for Liam to keep him behind, especially, of course, with him having basically fresh ultras. Meanwhile, Verstappen is passing.
Yeah, I was going to say, Verstappen is all over the back of Brad. Has managed to pass Brad there. As Dralex is in.
Meanwhile, yeah, and Leopard stays out. He's now done 9 laps on his set of hypers, whereas, of course, Dralex comes in for a set of ultras. Let's see how much the undercut has served. Of course, he's got Apex just ahead of him now with Verstappen. As he comes up towards turn 2. Where is Dralex now? He's now just come up to speed. Verstappen goes fastest. This is going to be close. This could be very close. Now come down towards turn 2. As you can see, there is Verstappen right in the background, and he is almost certainly closer. And that is one hell of an undercut. That is almost 4 seconds. He is closed up towards Dralex. That is incredible.
Yeah, and Dralex is going to be on cold tyres here for this lap, so this is an opportune time for Verstappen to make the move. He's got to make this move now, or he's going to be struggling, because I think when Dralex's tyres get up to temperature, he's going to start pulling away from him. So now or never for Verstappen.
Indeed it is. He needs to make sure he gets this move and fast. Of course, going to be good news for Leopard as well, of course, because he's looking to try and get himself up towards this fight, especially, of course, make his hypers go out as long as he can. They've now done 9 laps, potentially getting towards puncture territory at this point in the race. I'd be rather worried for them. But anyway, now comes down towards the second of the 2 DRS straights available to them. He's now come down towards the braking zone at turn 13, which, as you mentioned, is a horrific corner. But anyway, Verstappen's going to go for the net race lead, side by side between the Dutchman and the Canadian. Can Verstappen get past Dralex? Down the inside he goes. Now going to the outside line for turn 14. Long way round for Verstappen. He'll be able to hold it and ride it out. And he just about has it for now, heading towards 15 and 16. And unbelievably, Dralex slots in behind. And now Verstappen, for the first time in this Grand Prix, has the net race lead.
Yeah, as Leopard's in the pit. Leopard has come into the pit this time. That could have been a wise move there from Dralex, knowing he doesn't need to fight. He's going to get DRS here down the straight. He could just pass him again. His tyres will be up to temperature now. Let's see if he's going to be able to make the move. As Leopard's going well down here. Going to come out in P7.
P6. as Liam gets past Apex for P4. Of course, his teammate has a third 3-second time penalty for King Liam 25. Yeah, I would expect to see him in. Maybe Boris go out towards maybe about laps 18, 19, as Hayden, of course, gladly sails on past the Williams driver of Apex, who then runs deep. In fact, Hayden runs massively deep there at turn 13. But of course, due to the level 1 hypers, he couldn't quite come back, and I wouldn't really expect Apex to come back anyway. Just coast his way back into the pits. But Verstappen is getting away from Dralex here.
Yeah, he started. He's luckily Dralex is still within DRS range, but oh no, unlucky Apex after such a great start to the race for the LCR owner. He's just got himself a 5-second stop go there.
So Leopard yet to have a penalty. So in actual fact, the order as it stands, because there's still plenty of racing left to be done, so don't count it as your final order as if it's towards the penultimate lap. But meanwhile, Hayden is going for him on King Liam 25 and down towards the penultimate corner. Them softs really not working for Liam. In fact, down the inside goes the Force India, and that's an easy move there as Hayden goes from in the P4, Liam down to P5, and he is struggling.
Yeah, those softs really aren't working for him. He's gone for the alternate strategy there, and it looks like it's not paying off. And now with Leopard will be soon on his rear end, it's going to be close.
Oh, Liam goes the outside against Hayden again. He's come back at him down towards turn 2, and he forces his way through. Probably got a warning for that, if not maybe a legal overtake for passing him there. But it doesn't look as if he has, because Liam is now into P4, just about. Hayden going to come back round the outside though into that corner. Contact! Liam is in the wall, and that is surely a big nail in King Liam 25 championship hopes, smashed into the coffin. He has been tombstone pile drived at Russia, and surely that means that we might be in for a two-way fight for the championship.
Quite unbelievable. I was just on board with that. I was on board with Liam there, and you talked about legal overtake, and it looked like he was slowing down to let Hayden back through. But then he just tried to slot in behind Hayden and just completely lost the car. And like you said, pile drive straight into the wall. Really unlucky for the Renault driver, but like you say, that could be the end of his hopes of winning this title. So sad end for Liam to today's race. Not quite had the luck in the last couple of races, but hopefully it's not the last we've seen of him this season.
Yeah, meanwhile, Verstappen's got a very good friend then. Boris then wants to come down towards turn 2. Dralex is right on the back. Boris got let Verstappen through fairly easy. Boris though gave Dralex a bit of a hindrance there, and now he's outside of DRS, which could be just what the doctor ordered for the Dutchman.
Yeah, could Verstappen finally win a race after showing some brilliant showings in qualifying? Can he show that he's got the race pace as well and finally win his first race?
We nicknamed him the one lap wonder. Let's see if he's got 27 laps worth of home runs today. We're about half, just now clicked over to the halfway mark of this race so far. Still yet to see a pit stop come in for one driver and that is Boris Soderbox. And now all of a sudden, meanwhile further down, this will be a scrap for P3. Leopard is closing up towards Hayden.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Will Hayden yield and let Leopard through, or will he fight this? It's going to be interesting. For our sake, we hope they fight it, because we want to see a nice juicy battle going on. But obviously, if he lets Leopard through, it's going to be up to P3, and then Leopard will be on the charge, trying to hunt down those top two.
Could you imagine if this ends in contact? Could you, I don't want to think of it, but just imagine if this ended in contact. You couldn't script it if it happened, but it's two LCR lads about to come to blows. It's the German against the Brit. It's Force India against Williams, and well, for our sake, let's hope we see a titanic fight that we could have potentially seen with Liam and Leopard, but we didn't, because of course, well, we don't need to remind you what just happened about a lap ago. Go back and watch it if you've only just tuned in. You've just missed an unbelievable moment. But Leopard now coming down towards turn 2. He shifts the inside, darts it down the inside against LCR Hayden. Hayden forced to run off wide there, still holds the position though just about. Will he have the legal overtake just about side by side through turn 3? Not quite just yet, he's still not going to yield. Heading down towards turn 4. The Force India going to do best on the outside line. Williams trying to dart it down the inside line. This is real grudgement stuff here between two good friends. And I think Leopard will have the move done just about heading down towards turn 5. And yes, he does. But a real sort of grudge and brute and elbows came out there from the pair of them. Neither of them are going to give up on that one.
Just to let you know that Dralex has got back within DRS range of Verstappen now. So it's less than a second. Can Dralex get the move done? He's not quite close enough this time, but he's slowly, unless Verstappen's made a mistake somewhere, he's slowly kind of getting into this second stint here, and he's catching Verstappen. Obviously, brilliant chance for him to win a race. Obviously, it'd be absolutely gutting for Dralex, seeing as he's but still yet again not have won a race with 2 races remaining. But remember, there's still penalties to come into this. I think Verstappen's got a couple of penalties if I remember rightly off the top of my head. So still could be all Dralex's, but we'll have to see as the race goes on. So we've still got 11 laps remaining of this race.
Boris just got past it by Leopard. He ran a little bit deep out of turn 14. In actual fact, he's now going to go to the inside. In actual fact, going to come into the pits, which promotes Hayden up into P4. And now we have the genuine position. So as you can see, Verstappen leads, Dralex second, Leopard in third, and due to penalties as well as, of course, track position, Hayden is in P4, which means Leopard, to be fair to him, has had a tremendous drive and really damaged limitation stuff.
Just to note, one current on-track battle that is going on is Brad and Visualize starting within a second of each other here. So won't be long maybe before the American gets past the Belgian driver. This is for P6.
You just see there is Boris is just come out ahead of this battle. As you can just see, there he is. Just now coming out, 24 seconds between himself and Hayden, so maybe my prediction was a bit too far-fetched, but he should be able to get away comfortably in these first few laps away from this battle, and after that, potentially, these guys can come back at him and, give him a real fight for P5.
Just to note, Hayden is really staying with Leopard here. He's only 6/10 behind. Obviously, Hayden has a bucket load of penalties, so it won't matter going forward. Hayden will probably finish down in P4, but he's really taking the fight to Leopard here. He's not giving him easy.
Dealing one on the scrap further down, as we mentioned. Brad was very close to the back of it as they're heading down towards the second DRS straight now, towards this third sector, which, well, you can try and overtake, but you might as well hold yourself back for the turn 2 DRS attempt on this particular bit. Just get as close as you can. You can see Brad's sitting very close. As Boris goes past there, 32.9. As you can see, we've got that gap out of 5.5 seconds. Clear of Visualize and Brad. Meanwhile, Verstappen is now only 2/10 clear of Dralex.
Yeah,
Where
Dralex
does that come from?
I saw that myself and just went on board. Not quite sure what's happened, but he is right back behind him now. Can he get the move done here on the second DRS straight? Looks like he's going to be a little bit too far back. But there's some tasty battles going on here for obviously P1, P3, and for P6 a little bit further down. So,
but meanwhile, Brad's still on the back of Visualize here, Smith.
Yeah, these two having a brilliant battle for P6 here. Brad's not been brave enough to make the move on Visualize so far, but he's close enough. If he stays this close going into second DRS, he's going to have a brilliant chance down into that blind corner. He's lost a little bit going through that turn there. Can he get a brilliant? He gets a brilliant drive out of that corner. He's going to be in DRS now. Can he get the move done? He's pulling closer. He's going to pull to the left here. Visualize going to make him go round the outside. Brad brakes. Visualize gives him as much room as he can, and they go side by side here. Brad's lost the back end, and that's allowed Visualize to keep the position. But brilliant battling from these two for P6. Absolutely brilliant side by side racing from these two boys.
Hayden's still about 2/10 behind Leopard. As meanwhile, Brad has gone for a move on Visualize down towards turn 2. Has he done it this time? It looks like he has. The American now ahead of the Belgian into P6, but I don't think this battle is over just yet.
No, it's definitely a brilliant move from Brad there, going through turn 2. This Visualize gets a penalty there, cutting turn 4. But yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on. But like you said, I don't think we've seen the last of those two in this race.
We've got just over 5 laps to go, and well, Now the nerves are probably going to start setting for Dralex. This is a man that has been eluding a race victory for God knows how long. He's been always second best. He's never quite been able to reach the top step of the podium. We said it last time out, he has the best chance. I think this time today, he's got an even better chance. If he can just keep it clean, keep it calm. Verstappen goes defense to the inside. I wouldn't expect Dralex to have a go for a move, but all Dralex has to do is just avoid the curbs. That is it for 5 more laps, and he will claim, finally, 25 points.
Yeah, and we are obviously in the commentary. We're not biased, like we said before, but we obviously do want to see him get a race win. We feel like he has deserved it, and he's been so close. But obviously, like you say, he's got to keep it clean for these last laps as Fens gets another penalty. As just to note, Hayden has now started to drop out of DRS range of Leopard, so he did the Force India driver did really well to keep with Leopard for so long, but now it looks like he's starting to have a few struggles with his tyres. He's just managed to drop out of DRS range.
He has. He gets another 3-second time penalty. That's probably about his 6th today, as the yellow flag over in sector 2. What has happened there? Just went on board Boris, no sign of him. It seems like that might have been Fens potentially. Let's go on board with the Aussie. And nope, he's in the 3rd sector, so it couldn't have been him.
I think that was Hayden.
Sure.
I think that was Hayden. He's dropped. If you look at it, he's just dropped over 4 seconds back to Leopard. I think he's having a bit of an issue there. So yeah, damage. He has. He's had a moment there. Oh, absolutely gutting for the Force India driver. We were just talking how well he kept with Leopard all those laps, and now he's got wing damage. He's going to have to come in, and he's going to come out behind Boris as well. So he's going to get dropped.
Dralex is going for a move on Theo Verstappen and down towards the turn 2. Verstappen defends on the inside, breaks as late as he can, and just about holds it, but Dralex going to fight his way through on the outside line and through towards turn 3. Can he do it on the inside line, potentially darting on turn 4, but this is only good news for Leopard because that's going to close up, but down the inside goes Dralex again. Verstappen again defends a long way around, he just about slides on the rear end as Hayden comes in. He'll lose position to Boris, but then down towards turn 5, he's still on the inside line is Dralex, and this is probably kicking him, and this is really good news for Leopard as they come down towards turn 8. Inside line for VSR Dralex, can he take the race lead here? He just about has the race lead by a head, and through towards 9 and 10, and Dralex on lap 24 of 27 not only leads the Grand Prix on penalties, but leads it once again on Tracksmith.
Absolutely brilliant from those two boys, side by side, near enough from turn 2 there all the way to the 3rd sector. It's Verstappen. Oh, Verstappen thought about a move there. I was going to say it was a little bit far back. Wise, he thought wiser of it. Just to note that I think Dralex is quite low on fuel. I did notice that it was yellow coming down that straight, so he's got to be managing his fuel. But look at that, he's already near enough pulled out. He's pulled out over a second already. Could this be the moment, with 3 laps to go, where Dralex finally wins his first LCR race?
It's been like a carrot on a stick for the Mercedes. He's never ever got the final couple of laps. All he has to do is just put these final laps in. Don't even worry about the gap behind. Just take it easy, son. You're on your way. But one man that is taking it easy is Theo Verstappen. Do not forget, of course, he carries a 3-second time over his head, and Leopard is closing up to him. So could this be a damage limitation? This could be a huge plot twist in the championship all of a sudden, with now Dralex going to gain not 10 points but 7 on Leopard today.
Yeah, but obviously as Leopard, so close to the corner cut there, doesn't quite get it. Yeah, obviously Leopard himself is on 2 warnings, so he is on the edge of a penalty, so he could easily get that, and then Verstappen is off the hook really with being over 3 seconds. But like I say, Verstappen's got a lot older tyres than Leopard has, so that's going to play a massive factor. Leopard has 3 lap fresher tyres, it's going to be huge as they come into the last couple of laps here. Verstappen gets his 2nd penalty, so that's it. That's nail in the coffin for Verstappen. That means Leopard's going to come across, barring any mistakes, in P2 now. Absolutely gutted for the Dutch driver, who's driven brilliantly today.
Yeah, of course, same front row as we started with, but it's not going to be that when we reach the checkered flag. As you can see, Verstappen is now in the sights of the German. You can just see him just up ahead there, but now 2.3 seconds separate them two. Meanwhile, the two Force India swap positions, of course, just saw about half a lap ago. Visualize got passed by Hayden, and Hayden has then just passed his teammate into P5, back where really he feels that he should be, other than, of course, P4, which is Boris that also took full advantage. Leopard gets a penalty.
Leopard has got, and he must have got that through turn 2 as Hayden gets another penalty. I did say, just to quote, I reckon someone would get 21 seconds of penalties. I was thinking it might be Hayden, but I didn't want to say it, but it looks like it will be as Hayden's got another. But like you say, Leopard's got a penalty there, so that really, even though Verstappen, yeah, Verstappen's got 2 penalties, so yellow flag in sector 2, I'm not quite sure what that's for. That's Fens, stopped on track, always facing the wrong way.
Race leaders go past, nice and calm, and then of course does make the polite thing to turn back round. But that's just, well, that's chucked a sort of like an unneeded bit of seasoning into a battle. Let's put it that way, with Leopard now getting that 3-second time, because he carries it over his head, but Verstappen's already got one. So long as he's in 3 seconds again, he will claim P2 today. One thing's surely for certain. Surely we can't jinx it now. Dralex is going to win. Surely.
He's got one more lap. He's just got to keep it clean, keep it out the barriers as he comes around the final corner to start the final lap of the Russian Grand Prix here in LCR. Round 14 of the season. Can the Canadian finally get the race win he has been craving for so long?
He's 4 podiums on the bounce. It will be his 5th to his name for the season, and surely he's going to do it. 3.6 miles left to be driven for VSR Dralex. He has driven superb this race. He had the pressure of Verstappen undercutting and passing him, but he dealt with it like a champion. Verstappen has done well himself. He deserves full props, as has Leopard. He started down in P8, but surely we're in for now what could be a 2-way fight for the championship.
Yeah, sadly for Dralex, it's not going to quite be the 10-point gain that he might have wanted, with Verstappen obviously getting that second penalty. It's only going to be 7 points, but those 7 points could be huge going forward. It means, if I'm correct, he'll be 18 points behind Leopard. Is that right?
That is correct, yep.
So it's still going to be all to play for with just 2 rounds to go.
Indeed. Well, one thing that is crucial to mention, of course, is if that continues as it is, on average, if Dralex was to come first in both of the last few rounds and Leopard were to come third, Leopard would lose the championship by a single 2 points. Dralex is already weaving. He knows that finally the carrot on the stick has been grabbed by the pig. Dralex wins the Russian Grand Prix, with Leopard taking a last lap to overtake on Tier 1 Verstappen. It weren't going to matter anyway, as Verstappen done a Grand Slam spinning finish over the line, but it's Dralex ahead of Leopard, and that really ignites this 2-way fight that we have for 2 more rounds. But there is your order for you. So Dralex wins ahead of LCR Leopard. John Verstappen comes home P3 with Boris that wants in the MP4. Jules French in the end comes home P5 with P6 for LCR. And Hayden, due to 21 seconds worth of penalties, as Smith correctly predicted, comes home in 7th position. P8 in the end for LCR Apex, and finally Defense comes home P9. DNS gone in for a nosebleed and waste still. An unbelievably coughing King in 25. The Flying Finn and Chaos Gianni, and finally AOR Charlie were the 4 DNFs of the race. But that is the end of that. Thank you so much for watching. As per usual, see you same place, same time next week for the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you and goodbye.